Hi guys, this is Ansari, and in this video I will cover how we could visualize and conditionalize our weather data. So I should have weather data, so I bring up Ladybug download weather, and as you might know here I need a panel, so I should copy paste a link to an existing EPW file on net and toggle it to weather URL. And there we go, I have an plus weather file, so I should bring import EPW and wire it to EPW file. So I start from the most easy one, and that's dry bulb temperature. I go to subsets of subtab of two maybe called visualize data and bring hourly plots into my canvas and wire the data. If you want your plots fit into your canvas, just click on the dark gray bar with middle of the mouse scroll and click here on the zoom. So it would be fit to my canvas. So what is this? It's the weather of each hour of year from January to December and from 12 a.m. at night till 12 p.m. in the noon and again night. So here I see it's 44 degrees Celsius. So I want to have my data to be more readable for general viewer. So I bring to Ladybug Legend parameter, and there you see we have a maximum number here. So I drop 45 into my canvas and wire the Ladybug Legend parameter to Legend parameter, and there we go. We have very accurate and readable. And I want, for example, my number of decimal to be set to maybe 1. I want to have my favorite fonts applied. You could apply any font you like, and that worked for me. There are some minor things you could do, for example, vertical or horizontal. So I could bring up a boolean toggle, and we could have maybe a more horizontal type of legend here. But I like the old one. Of course, you could, for example, do let me turn it to a continuous one, and we don't have this type of thing. But I myself like the default mode much more better. So as we covered this, let me bring up a very cool feature that Ladybug have in order to have your weather data shown as you like. We have Ladybug color range here, and here I could wire the color and set the index, for example, to 3. If you are a previous EcoText user, you're maybe more convenient with this sort of visualization. But I want to have my own visualization, so I bring up a swatch, color swatch. I want to have a very deep blue for my -5. After that, I want to have maybe lighter blue. I want to have maybe white color for my mid-range temperature, and most importantly, I want to have something around red for my highest degree. And bring up a merge into my canvas and wire it in. So if I wire this range of my color to colors, I have my own custom color, which may benefit me, and which would I like this sort of visualization more. You could have any sort you like. There is some great feature that Ladybug have, and it's the statement parameter. For example, I know that for the dry bulb temperature of 9 to 10 below, we should have wind protection. So when this sort of time would happen. So here I bring up my panel and type A, which is my initial and first input, is lower than 9 as a statement, and toggle it to statement. And there you see, we have very good visualization that in which time of a year we have a degree which is lower than 9. And I could, of course, set the max to maybe 10 degree, and you could see in which time of a year we have, and maybe put a statement instead of 9 at 10. And here you could see exactly in which time of a year we have below 10 degrees Celsius. So I want to know what is the wind speed that we have during this time. So I toggle to data wind speed, and I hear normal wind speed. But there's a minor problem. The upper limit of my wind speed is around something like 6 or 7 meters per second. So in order to have a better understanding of the wind speed, I could delete my max, and in default mode, it would be shifted to the maximum. But you see, there is some sort of weather here that in this hour of a year, the station recorded 18.5 meters per second. So it's anomaly, and we as an intelligent user should manage this sort of data to be better shown. So I undo my max, and I think here we go. But what about wind direction? So I know I could toggle wind direction too, but wind direction is something like I don't know, 360 degrees. So even if I delete my max, as readable for me, but not that much. See, the things I could do is that we have here Ladybug Wind Rose. I brought my Ladybug Wind Rose and click on it and hide what I have. For the first thing first, I need to toggle my wind speed to my windrows. After that, my wind direction, and it gives me a very cool windrows. You may have some difficulties with this. I have some difficulties with this red line. Here, I could somehow bring up a preview, and in my custom preview for a frequency line, I could bring up a color swatch and turn it, for example, to a black one. And I could have it for my orient line too. And I think it's good to go. You understand the procedure. So I want to know in which time of a year these sorts of under 10 degrees Celsius happens. And here I could do a very cool feature that Ladybug have, and it is apply conditional statements. So I bring it to my canvas and it said data. So first of all, I wire my drive while temperature. After that, I apply the same statement to it. While holding my shift key, I wire wind speed, and after that, wind direction. So next thing I should do, let me bring up a panel and see what we have. We have conditional data that has been all written into a single tree. What we could do is that graph that tree. Tree is a grasshopper sort of categorization for data, and type bang in order to bring explode tree, wire it in, and right click on it and match output. And as we see here, our second input is wind speed, so I toggle it to wind speed and component turn into red because the hour of or the value of our wind speed here is 2261, while here in the wind direction we have it for a whole year. It means 8760 values. So I should wire this wind direction, and there I go. Now I know from which side with which frequency I have the wind from which direction, and I could benefit. And here when I see this, I could bring a beneficial aspect to my design, and it is to put wind protection from my west side. So maybe we have different scenario. Like I want to know how could I use is the wind speed enough for natural ventilation? For example, when we have the weather, I know over 25 degrees Celsius. And by simply changing that, here I could see I have something around 10 meters per second. Or maybe less, 5 to maybe even 2 meters per second wind speed that I could use for my natural ventilation. And even here we have Ladybug arithmetic operation, or maybe mass arithmetic operation. And I could toggle, I know the first one is wind speed, so I could choose maybe not a good type of operation I have here. I want to average my data. So as you might remember, we have something called Ladybug construct data, and we have Ladybug deconstruct data, which bring up my value to me. So if I go to my math tab and bring the mean or average parameter, let me find it. My average up. Let me type it. Here it goes, my average. I could know that here I have an average wind speed of 4.8 meters per second in this time of the year. You could do very cool things and visualization with these set of tools you have. But for example, here, instead of wind direction, I want to know my relative humidity. And here I wire my relative humidity, and for example I understand that the relative humidity is proportionally lower, and maybe the natural ventilation principle is not applicable for this location. You could toggle, I don't know, diffuse horizontal luminance or global horizontal radiation, or maybe direct normal radiation, and understand how you could use your weather data to benefit your design with environmental features like natural ventilation. Last thing I want to mention here for maybe better export is that you could bake this hourly plot into your canvas. And let me close my grasshopper, and you see nothing is here. It's all wire and some sort of mixed up between these heading, and what you could do is somehow manage to let me have a little bit of space opened. And if I change my view from wireframe to a shaded mode, I see colors, but it's not well enough for me. I change it to rendered mode, and there I go, very accurate and well visualization. So I could type print and set my paper to A4, landscape, and set raster output, and set my view, and there I go. I could have very good visualization printed out, and I could really benefit from it. If you're a little bit lazy like me, you could go here, and in the capture, you could capture your view to file 2 more easily, and I know, set up a resolution or anything like this, for example, a 1920 to 1080, and you have very good visualization for your presentation or meeting with clients, anything you have in mind. Hope to enjoy it, this video, and it would be useful for you. Thank you once again for your attention.